Notre Dame wins this football game by 3.
Hey, somebody hide Lou Holtz, right? Ryan Day right now in halftime. That boy ain't even doing a halftime speech. He's in there writing his dunk speech on a 9,000-year-old Lou Holtz on how he's going to talk about his mama, how he's ugly, his 15 wrinkles. He's going to go over to Ty Schmidt and just give him the people's elbow. As the field goal is kicked and the last 26 seconds is left in the season of this wonderful college football 2024 season, I'm sad. Not just sad because my Texas Longhorns were on the gosh darn 1 yard line, sir, with a chance to beat this same dang national championship team. No, in all seriousness, because of it comes to the end of a beautiful, amazing, crazy college football season. Congratulations to the Ohio State Buckeyes. I know you beat my Longhorns, and as a Texas Karen fan, I should be coming up with excuses. Don't worry, I got them, but we're going to save that. Right now, congratulations to this team. They were called everything else but the children of God on their way to making this run to the national champion. Y'all spent too much money. Y'all stole players. Ryan Day uses Just for Men to keep his beard black. I think I made that one up, but that's not important. What is important is the fact that you can't say anything else about Ohio State, and you definitely can't say anything about Ryan Day unless you're from the state of Michigan and you wear maize and blue. But that's not important. What's important is to kind of talk about this national championship game. And I want to talk about it first through the lens of where we were when the college football playoff started. Talk about controversy. Everything in that first round was controversy. Blowouts and teams don't belong, this and that and the other things. A lot of nastiness coming towards some people's way. And when it ended up being the way that it ended, I think, especially with the great games we had. I mean, Texas, Arizona State, Texas, Ohio State until Steve Sarkisian struck. Notre Dame, Georgia was a game there for a second. And even this game in the first quarter I thought was going to be a reflection of what the second half of the playoff was. Look, the first round was unnecessary. The second round is when the game started to get good, and it felt like the final was going to just cultivate on all that. But alas, it didn't. And the dominance of Ohio State started to shine through. The firepower with Quinshawn Judkins, the absolute insanity from Jeremiah Smith, the absurdity when it comes to athleticism and technical prowess in the eyes of Ime Ibuka. I don't know how to say his name. He dude with number 2 on his back. That's super nice. But I think I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Will Howard, because I feel like, and a lot of people have talked about his kind of assurgence through people's NFL mock drafts and things of that nature. I think this performance is the one where this is the feather in the cap, right? I feel like not just from a rushing standpoint where he was phenomenal, but the arm was great, the decision making was great, and most importantly, he finished the game. Remember, the big play that in this game basically was a post by Jeremiah. It was a double move. Was it a post or was it a what's it called? I don't know what that rat's called, but they bend it like a 7 rat. Anyway, that's a big time throw on 3rd and 11 that he had to make with the national championship on the line. He did it to ice the game. He made some peculiar throws. He was really just on timing. I believe in coming into the first 2 quarters, Riley Leonard was 11 for 11. Perfect on the day. When everybody was talking about how his arm needed to be great in XYZ, Will Howard came out and really showed that he could do big things. And I think for the case of the NFL, that he's slowly creeping up people's big boards. Now, for Riley Leonard, I think similarly, I think also similarly, Riley Leonard did a lot of good things. There's not a lot of bad that Riley Leonard did. I mean, the leading rusher, first off, that tells the tale of the tape, dog. When your quarterback is your leading rusher with 40 yards, now, again, college is weird because they take away your sack yards from your rushing yards, so it is a little weird. But still, this is absurd. Jeremiah Love only got 4 carries. Jordan Price only got 4 carries. That makes me kind of confused when it starts to get into the nitty-gritty, especially when there was a few times in the game where it felt like the distance started to shrink a little bit. You know, in that third, even in the fourth quarter, it felt like the distance was shrinking, and they were just at fingertips reach for this game, but they just could not put together any sustained drives. And when you compound that by not having long sustained drives like you did in the first game, where I just thought everything, and I'm gonna put it at the end, and like me going through the quarters up until the half, just because I think that's fun to kind of see me like live looking through it, so y'all see that at the end. But besides that first drive, right? Other than that, it was just pure dominance from Ohio State. And I think to end this game, I have to talk about the complete execution from Ohio State, right? The defensive side was roaming around, flying around. JT was elite. Sawyer was causing havoc. And it really felt like a game where Ohio State had to use all of its biggest pros to finally eke out a win and another national championship. You did it in 2015. You do it in 2025. I don't know what that means. Maybe the stars are aligning. But, hey, as a Texas fan, I got some nasty narratives to get off. Hey, man, we only lost to the national champions. We only lost to the national champions. Y'all can't say nothing about that. All right, but let's close this out. I will have to say I was wrong in who I thought was going to be the national champions. I would be wrong in saying that Ohio State would have won this national championship. And I think a lot of people deserve we have to come up off the whole money thing with Ohio State. Look, Notre Dame had a lot of money. Texas had a lot of money. A lot of programs had a lot of money, but there is only one national championship that got through the gauntlet of the 12-game playoffs, and Ohio State did it, and they did it with flying colors. Now, I do want to listen to old Lou Holtz. He had some predictions, so we're just going to pop in here for a second just to end the video. You know, Ryan Day and Lou Holtz have a very, very long-standing relationship, so let's hear this.
In the draft, every pro team is going to look at this film. Now, if you want to help yourself in the draft, you get in there and you watch a film. You learn everything you can about the receivers, and you have a chance to help yourself tremendously in the draft. You challenge your defensive back. But let's just get a 1st and 10. And the main thing about this, I think Coach Marcus Freeman understands this well. He doesn't need any help from me or anybody else. He's a great coach. He's done a tremendous job. He loves Notre Dame, and Notre Dame loves Marcus Freeman. But let's not win the game. Let's make sure that we don't lose it. Why does Penn State have difficulty winning a real close game? Because they try to win it, and they end up beating themselves. For example, Notre Dame playing Penn State, the score's tied less than a minute to go, and Penn State throws an interception inside their 30-yard line with less than a minute to go. That's a case of trying to beat the University of Notre Dame, and they end up beating themselves. It happens on a regular basis. So let's just go play our game. Understand it's going to go down for 60 minutes. Let's not look at the scoreboard. Let's play the best we can, play it for one another. And that is the key in this football game. If Notre Dame will play this for each other, the team will come together and they will encourage one another. They'll find a way to win. So you remember me telling you this. Notre Dame wins this football game by 3. But it's going to be a great game. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah, this is the most punchable 80-year-old man, huh? Lou Holtz might just be the most drop-kickable 80-year-old man. But that's it from Lou. Sad to make Lou Holtz sad. Maybe we were too hard on Ryan Day in his Just for Men using that. But hey, that's not important. What is important is this concludes another phenomenal season of the college football with the national champions being crowned. Hopefully next season, you know what I'm saying, we got some burnt orange going crazy. You know what I mean? We can only hope. But really, this means the start of the offseason and 9 sad months of no real college football. So please, as the offseason content comes, I would love for y'all to get down in the comments and let me know any suggestions you might have for any specific type of content. You let me know. I'm open to all types of stuff. Do have a plan, so be on the lookout for there. Of course, transfer portal news, NIL news, going to continue to be updated, so y'all be on the lookout there. I appreciate y'all joining me here. Leave a like on the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you enjoy college football content. We'll see you. Peace. Look, it's so easy. Just when you have Ohio State on the 1-yard line, Sark, how about just run the quarterback 4 times? Notre Dame did it. There you go. And so far, and just like that, Ohio State comes down and answers. Chip Kelly reaches in his deep bag of offensive voodoo. It's a nasty stuff. I love the play call. I had Jeremiah Smith on an orbit fake return motion. He goes orbit, goes back. He's open in the flat, wide open. It's basically a different iteration of the popcorn, or what's it called? The corn dog move where, the return motion, go back, do it with Jeremiah Smith because he's a freak of nature. Touchdown. Both of these offensive coordinators are humming. This is going to be a classic football game. State gets the ball twice. They score twice. They are an absolutely unstoppable force right now. And that Notre Dame defense is getting tired. It's like that going into the second or the end of the second quarter into the half. Ohio State gets the ball at half. LeBron James, Drake's #1 op, is on the screen, pumping up the crowd. And Ohio State is up 21-7 against Notre Dame. It is an absolute scene in Atlanta. Into this halftime, man, the first quarter and that first few drive was like a beautiful like a movie story. It was like something out of Rudy. Notre Dame comes out firing all cylinders, good, methodical drive. Ohio State responds with a good, methodical drive. And then Ohio State just starts Ohio State, and they just have too many weapons, too much firepower. Will Howard was like 11 for 11 going into the second quarter. The kid's been absolutely dynamic and amazing and elite. Every single part of that offense has been on fire, and Notre Dame just can't really find that much space. So we'll see what they can do in the half with Ohio State getting the ball. Hey, somebody hide Lou Holtz, right? Ryan Day right now in halftime. That boy ain't even doing a halftime speech. He's in there writing his goddamn dunk speech on a 9,000-year-old Lou Holtz on how he's going to talk about his mama, how he's ugly, his 15 wrinkles. He's going to go over to Ty Schmidt and just give him the people's elbow. It's going to be great stuff, man.